feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to and what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan, your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour, take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder, work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought.
I can tell you that 7 years after Freddie Gray, that was 2015, spring, April, May. This is 2022. Communities like Sandtown, all we saw then and now in terms of investment was a renovated Western District Police Station and a new funeral home. That's what West Baltimore got. A new police station and a new funeral home. What kind of optics are they? Was Freddie Gray any different than 1968 Baltimore riots? Dr. King's passing, killing, murder? This is the same?
No, it wasn't. I mean, I think, well, first of all, people who are being violent and burning, that's, you know, all that's the same. But the point is what was the cause and what were they attempting to register?
I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns.
I love you.
They deserve an ounce. It's got next. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking
First name's Doni, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul, baby. To God be the glory. This is a recap of yesterday's New Year Empowerment Summit, Black Wall Street style, by Be More News. Special thank you to Wanata, the West North Avenue Development Authority, and Fulton Bank. Meet my guests. All the way from Boston Street, Dr. Vanya Pettigrew. All the way from Washington, D.C., Mr. Carl Brown, by way of New York City. Vanya from Philly. All the way from West Baltimore. You West Baltimore, East Baltimore?
West Baltimore.
Jackie Cummins. All the way from East Baltimore, Akio Evans.
How's it going? Peace, peace, peace.
And then we got another West Side up in the house. Patty Smith. Patty Smith, start us off. What happened yesterday at your Sankofa Children's Museum of African Cultures at 4330 Pimlico Road up in Park Heights?
Thank you, Doni. Thank you for inviting me. And hello and happy New Year, Grand Risings to everyone on this podcast. I want to say it was a different type of event for Sankofa because we are all about educating. We want everyone to know about Black history, the importance of it. But for 2025 to have a there to start off with a program and seeing people like me that had so much to talk about, to give back, it was very inspiring. And I've gotten texts all day. One of my favorite ones was from a volunteer that worked there, and she called it the Doni effect. She said she'd never been in a room with that many influential people where she was so motivated by the context of the information that was given. So it was wonderful. It was a wonderful day. It was a wonderful day.
Good deal. Keo, I think I've known you the longest of the people on this call.
Yes,
my Cancerian brother, artist extraordinaire. And let me just go back to Patty. Patty's been known, for those that don't know, Patty's a radio icon here in the city of Baltimore.
Thank you.
And unbeknownst to me, WEAA,
WWIN.
Yeah, Radio 1.
And V104.
And V104. Okay.
Wow.
And then Akio is an artist. As you see those Nikes behind him,
Yes.
He's put those customized Nike Airs in the hands of Dave Chappelle, Tommy Davidson. Who else is on the list?
It's a few, but I mean, I don't like the name drop, man. I'm humble with whatever people said, and they said.
I'm doing the dropping. DMX.
It's been Marlon Wayans recently as well, but I just like to change the narrative of looking at shoes not as customs, but it's murals. You get what I'm saying? Like murals on shoes, whereas though there's so much consumption going on that we need to start collecting. And the only time artists are acknowledged is when they're in transition and when they're no longer here. Then that's when, say for instance, Stevenson University had contacted one of my collectors in 2014 and was like, hey, do you still got Akio's art? Because we want to pay you $1,000 stipend to be able to house the art at this museum, at this. So when you think about that, I didn't know that I was creating things like that. I just looked at it like how the world was viewing my art. But now I'm looking at it as though that, wow, I can encourage not just because I'm 40 now, but I can encourage people old and young. Look, we can start creating art pieces that can be cherished, because when you think about nowadays with technology, everybody with the golden age of us actually having access to a family photo album is now becoming extinct. And what the thing of that is that it's something that's tangible when you are looking at those photos, and the souls are looking right back at you. So I try to bring that into the shoe, not just an Air Force One, but Baltimore saved the Air Force One. Yes, so I'm also educating like people like Dr. Dre, who has a whole collection of white Air Force Ones. He didn't know until April 2020, that Baltimore was responsible for that shoe not fading to existence. So I utilized photos and all the things, mixed media, and now I just started painting on canvas because my friends been trying to tell me to do canvas since 2019. I had just recently sold 2 Harriet Tubman pieces, $10K each, at an art gallery, at Quentin Art Gallery. So I'm now tapping into the canvas world, but I always told people, well, my canvas was always shoes. So it's like, it's a whole different dynamic. But to see those children yesterday at their age, already knowing what their gift is, already knowing what their value, that's what Doni kept saying, know your value. It's good that we are able to pour back into those individuals, because now they have the what do you call it, the head start to be able to start already knowing what their value is, so they can move forward. And they can make that, when they know that value, they can make impact on the world for others to know that value as well. So it's so powerful,
That's powerful.
Good deal. Jackie Cummins, you do the Black Wall Street Expo on 25th Street twice a year. You've been able to get the city of Baltimore under your boy Mayor Brandon Scott to name that strip Black Wall Street here in Baltimore. You own at least 5 buildings on that strip. You can do everything but electrical and plumbing when it comes to rehabbing a building. Your thoughts of yesterday's Black Wall Street Summit? It
was very informative. It was enjoyable. It was wonderful to see so many professionals just openly sharing themselves and their services and the opportunity to be able to offer assistance to so many people in need, to give them confidence and hope to move on to the next stage in their business. It was a beautiful event.
Okay. Carl Brown, you run the Washington, D.C. Small Business Development Center at the Mecca, a.k.a. Howard University. We've done 2 Black Wall Streets over there at Howard at the School of Business, thanks to you. Right. You even given me a beautiful award myself, blown away. We had Roderica Applewhite, Director of Black Media from the White House, as one of our honorees. Your thoughts on yesterday, coming all the way up the road?
Oh, I loved it. I loved everything about it, Doni. It was in the right place at the right time. Okay. The Sankofa Children's Museum, but really it was a museum for all.
Oh,
because yes, I enjoyed looking at all of the displays. I got pictures of everything. And I think that, you bringing us all together was at the right time. Like I said to you when you asked me, well, can you do this on January 4th? I said, absolutely, because I want to start the year off strong. And that's what we did. I mean, it was strong. It was powerful. Every panel, every speaker, they came out and poured themselves out to the people in the room. And I hope we motivated them, because that's what we try to do at the DC Small Business Development Center is motivate, educate, and bring hope to our people, So you never got to worry about me saying, unless I'm sick in bed, you ask me to come, I'm gonna be there because this is for us. And let me tell you, we have suffered for 400 and some years.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, we got a billionaire here and a billionaire there and all this, but we as a people are still suffering. And until we can open up avenues of hope, like entrepreneurship for everyone, and some people think it's just a dream. And we can show them that it's not a dream, but you have to have a dream to do this. And that's what I saw in the room. And you highlighting all those young people. I mean, let me tell you, man, I was stuck there because I had to get back to this side of town because we were honoring one of when my son was in Boy Scouts, there were only 3 guys left, my son and 2 other guys. All the other folks had gone through it and became Eagle Scouts, so they dropped out. And I told the last guy, I said to him, Emmanuel, when you become an Eagle Scout, because I wanted to motivate him, I said, when you become an Eagle Scout, I'm going to be there at your reception. And his reception was at 2:00 yesterday. That's why I had to leave.
Wow.
And my man got his Eagle Scout.
Yes.
So the 3 of them, my son, Emmanuel, and the other one, Austin, they were the 3 guys left here in the buoy at Troop 1559. And man, I was so proud of Emmanuel and I talked to his parents. And I mean, Emmanuel is at Temple University now studying to be a doctor.
Nice.
Wow.
I mean, this is, my son is at Howard studying to be a doctor.
Wow.
Austin is studying to be a journalist, and I mean, these 3 guys are dynamic, and that's why I had to leave. But when you were highlighting what the young people were doing, and that's what we got to do. We got to keep encouraging them. We got to support them. We got to help them grow. It's like we all got to hold hands and make sure we are all successful. We cannot leave it up to maybe they'll make it, maybe they won't. No, we got to help them. You got a dream, let's go make it a reality.
Indeed.
Yes.
And then we have Dr. Vanya Pettigrew, the media mogul, the media maven, originally from Philadelphia, IA, up in the city of Baltimore. She owns the block, Carl. She has a block, 2200
I did some research on it today, man.
I did too.
Absolutely.
2200 block of Boston Street. And she's kicking out media. We drop nuggets on each other. Dr. Pettigrew, what you think of yesterday's Black Wall Street Summit, New Year Empowerment Summit?
I loved every moment of it. I was so excited about the location and being able to get back over there. I am from Philadelphia, but many people may not know when I lived in Baltimore City. I do live in the county now, but when I lived in Baltimore City, I lived on Charles Street, and I lived right across the street from St. Kofa, the store.
The store, yeah.
Store. And so Mama Kiki really is like my mama. She's my real auntie who took me under her wing.
Everybody's mama.
Everybody's mama. When I first came to Baltimore, and because Group Ranches first office, I started Root Ranch in Baltimore City. I participated in a small business startup program called Women Entrepreneurs of Baltimore Web. Web is no longer around, but some really influential businesses led by women came up out of there many years ago. And so I went through Web, started Root Ranch, and our very, very first office was on St. Paul Street, 2025, something like that. St. Paul Street. So I've always been in that Charles Village, Old Goucher, now Jackie's Black Wall Street area. So I'm just really excited when I heard your story, Jackie, and what you were able to build and develop over there, because I'm a Philly girl. So I used to walk, I didn't drive, I used to take the bus. So walking all that whole corridor, and knowing all the business owners, I literally felt like it was Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. And so getting to know Mama Kiki, and she gifted me my first pair of Fulani earrings and all of these things. So many memories, right? But she really wrapped her arms around me, because one of the core things about Root Ranch is we teach media to young people. And so she believed in me and the work that I did with the schools and really trying to get it off the ground. It was new then. So I was really pounding the pavements and trying to meet the local youth organizations to introduce my program to. And so having her husband's support meant a lot. So being able to, come see her in person. Yesterday, it was like a homecoming for real, like really seeing family and, seeing how much they have grown. And Doni, you've curated such an incredible roster of like stars, like business leaders, political leaders, the business leaders, the whole thing. And we were all under one roof. It was like I was with all my friends. I was having a great time, but we were in the community. I see a lot of these folks in a lot of other rooms, whether we're in Annapolis or whether we're in City Hall, or, I sit on a lot of boards, but it hit different when you at St. Sofa, So it was truly a fun afternoon among colleagues and peers. A lot of my clients were in the room. Meeting new folks like a Carl Brown and, Mr. Evans, I'm ready to connect with you as well. So again, I believe, Eddie, you and I may have met before. I think we did. Right around pandemic, before things, or right when things started shutting down for you guys over there at St. Opa. But yeah. Oh, my boo Kelly done jumped on. So again, all the friends were there. Everyone was there, and it was wonderful. So thank you, Doni. You put on an incredible program. I was extremely honored to be one of the honorees. And it just means a lot to really be in the village and supported by the village.
Absolutely. Tasha, you got to cut your camera on. Kelly Redmond Bagby started off juicing. What's going on? Now you juicing on it. You got to cut your mic on, Kelly.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Mother Nature. I gotta tell you, I love that name, Mother. Not your mother, your mother. Your mother.
Yes, Mother.
Mother Kel.
Thank you so much. Yesterday was incredible. I was extremely grateful just to be in the building with everyone. I saw so many familiar faces, people that I've admired along my journey, people I've worked alongside. So it was really an incredible day. I got some great insight just hearing from the panel. And I was just really excited just to receive the award. I feel like, this whole journey, as everyone knows, it has its ups and downs. And then, last year, just taking a real pivot in business and just elevating what I was doing. I'm going into year 5 right now of juicing. And I always tell people that it's more than just juice for me. It's a full-on health movement. And this year I'm really pushing to elevate that experience and looking to open up my next space as a full-on wellness hub. So I'm just really excited just to be in the conversation and in the room and just be connected with such great individuals and just to continue to do the work. So Doni, thank you for hosting such an amazing event. My sister and my aunt have received this award as well. So it just made me feel even better just to know that I'm following in some great footsteps. So thank you.
Good stuff. So Patty, what do you think? You had a litany a battalion of entrepreneurs in the house, and you got to touch on the Africa backdrop.
So let me just say that museum, it really speaks for itself. Everything in that room. We were in the main room yesterday. So I always say once you enter, it is a place of return because you are surrounded by the ancestors. You have to look at those pieces in there and question, how are they made? Who did that? Where did they come from? So I'm of a certain age, and I know in middle school and high school, I didn't learn everything about the continent. So it's wonderful for me to meet adults that have questions so they can come back and not just be in that great room, but do a tour, go down in that gallery. Carl Brown, did you walk all the way through the museum?
In the room that we were in, I didn't go into the other one.
Yes. See, so once you
I got to come back.
You have to come back. There's a full gallery. There's a store. There's a culturatorium. That culturatorium is about interactive things. So you can learn about the different regions of Africa. But it's like what Dr. How do you say your name? Vanya?
Vanya, like Kanye.
Vanya, okay. And that's what you said yesterday. I love it. That is, and I'm sorry for my dog. Once you come in and walk through there, you are part of our family. Yeah. So to have all these people in the room at that time, it was just amazing to me. I loved everybody that was in that room. I wanted to talk to everybody in that room. I know.
Yeah,
the people that were there actually gave out their phone numbers. And I'm the same way. I'm going to give you my cell number. I might not answer it, but tell me what you want. And that's what everybody said. Tell me what you want, and I can help you. And
listen, we got tuning in with her. She's a mother who's very busy. Tasha Vanzi, unmute yourself.
Yes.
You had a number of, how many entrepreneurs did you have in there? 5?
Yes, we had 5. 3 were my children, and 2 are their colleagues and best friends who are part of our Agile Startup Studio that my husband and my tech company actually incubates. And I'm sorry, it's going to be a lot of noise in the background every now and then. Okay. But it was a phenomenal event, and we want more.
Yes.
Jackie, you and Akio both work with young people. What's the significance of passing this on to our young people?
Jackie, you can start first.
They need to know the strength of their heritage, of their
village.
They need to understand that, like Doni says, we didn't start as slavery, and we're not going to end with slavery. Right. It's so much strength and tenacity that goes with what we do, and intention and what we do, and we can share that and enlighten our children to let them know that you can do it. You can accomplish anything you want to. You just have to get connected to the right people. You have to have a vision, and you have to be fearless, because there are going to be times when things are going to fall apart around you, but you have to move forward anyway. You have to keep persevering, and with that, you can achieve your goals.
I say every time I'm with people, and we sell that shirt inside the gift shop, the shirt says Black history did not start with slavery. You have to say that every day. It did not start with slavery. We had civilizations out there. It was so much that people learned and took from Africa. Yes. So we have to teach our kids that every day. And I say to children that come in with those dreams, if things were easy, it would be boring. That's part of the challenge to build for yourself. Because as you're building, you're going to gain that confidence. So, when I talk to those kids when they come through, and adults that don't know about Africa, you see the questioning in their mind, like, really? Is this happening right now? Yes, it is. And you're never too old to learn. It's about being present. So when we were in that room, the adults in that room and the children, everybody was listening. So the panels had our attention. It had mine. I was trying to sit down every chance I got. We're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, same here.
Come on, Theo.
Yes.
I was actually, I was just talking to Donnie earlier that, I was in there getting fed, and that's what the kids need, because I was a kid that did everything under the sun, roaming the streets of Baltimore. Then I went to the streets of Phoenix, Arizona. Then I went to the streets of Spokane, Washington, because I was on the run, had multiple warrants as a teenager. But then I transformed that story that I was ashamed to talk about, sharing with the youth at the Enoch Park Library recently. And it was a kid that was about wanting to commit suicide. And here it is. This is a kid that look at my stories every day. So I'm very cautious of actually what seed that I'm planting. You get what I'm saying? Because I do come from these communities in East Baltimore. I know Doni from West, East Baltimore, but I am able to, when I talk to them, I remember after I had this incident that happened to me, one of the kids that 4 days after this thing had happened to me in 2023, I didn't want to go on with actually doing a workshop for Morgan State University, but they had split the kids from Morgan State University to Park Heights. And the kid that I kept running into through Baltimore, because Baltimore is small, it was wild because I was going my way to the store, and he had stopped me because he was on his way to a repast because his father was killed. And I was like, yo, I keep running into you, man. It's wild, man. And I having a nice moment. He said, no, man, I'm here because my father. Can you mind if I introduce you to my parents? Because I was telling them about you. Since you stopped and you spoke to us, everybody else that came to that actually to the venue, because I had a workshop there, they said they talked at us, but you talked to us. So it's important that we, take the time to not already assume that they know what they know, because I was a kid that I only knew what I knew, and it was the wrong way. And I didn't have the correct mentorship. And my old thing was, if I don't have it, I'm taking it. You get what I'm saying? So it's all about transforming that mindset. And every chance that I get, I attempt to try. I know we all can't save everybody, but what Donnie and I talk about is just that one. You only need that one friend. You only need that one child, and you start right then and there. And then with that, the whole arms of a community can wrap around that child, and we can be able to all go together with walking each other towards the right decision to make. Because poverty brings on unwise decision making. And I grew up in poverty, so I was making unwise decisions throughout my life, and now I'm making the right decisions to where as though I'm seeing my value, and I'm able to educate like old and young. And I'm able to be, and I'm a life learner. I like to learn. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I would say.
Kelly, you got to tell them about Nia Redmond. Nia Redmond years ago had a publication called Kids Scoop Newspaper. Way back when we first started Be More News, I'm talking about 22 years ago. And Nia Redmond is a gangster, so I don't know what you're going to say after that, Kelly.
Yeah, so I was actually a part of the original Kids Scoop. So it was one of the first children's newspaper in East Baltimore. I don't know if it's just in Baltimore period, but I know for East Baltimore. And with her nonprofit, she opened up a computer lab on Patterson Park and Chase Street. That's also where I was born too. So now she's transitioned into a digital library for the East Baltimore Historical Library. So this is in partnership with, the space is with Hopkins. And in this library, she's housing the stories of East Baltimore families that were displaced. And she's just starting to really, it's been open for a while, but she's starting to transition it so that more people can be a part of this space. And it just shows the trajectory of her. She's done so much in the community, but starting off with that newspaper for Kids Scoop and Teen Scoop, and now it's transitioned into this digital space. I think it's incredible. I actually just joined the board, and my position there is for community engagement and wellness coordination. So my role will be just highlighting wellness within the community, hosting wellness events, and connecting that with our culture in Baltimore City, and just highlighting the health disparities we've experienced. Again, part of my backstory of getting into juicing was due to my sister, because she had stage 4 colon cancer at 33, and she passed away at 34. So it just really sparked like a passion in me, because I realized that it's chronic diseases are on the rise and they're affecting young people, and young people really aren't fully aware of it, and how our eating practices are affecting that. So that's just a part of my mission. And again, like my aunt is, if anybody knows my aunt, you know, they know her. So it's not really too much to say about her, but if you know her, you know her. But she's done a lot of work in the community. So
she built the library.
Yes. And that's the East Baltimore Historical Library. So there'll be a lot of things that are coming up with that, especially during this winter and spring season. She's added a lot more people to the board. So I'm just excited to see like how everything blossoms and how I can connect with what I'm doing with Mother Nature and with the library as well.
Dr. Pettigrew and Carl Brown, can you both speak about the significance of media? Both of you have media platforms, the significance of media in the broader picture of entrepreneurship, telling our story of businesses, business owners in our community.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. Ladies first.
Okay, so my entire career has been in television and film, dating back to my days at Discovery Channel. Root Ranch on January 1 of this year just celebrated 19 years in business. And our slogan, thank you, our slogan and our hook has always been, we make meaningful media, media that makes a difference. And whatever that meant for you, whether it was social impact, whether it was making a difference to your bottom line, I'm gonna help you make some money, you know, grow and grow your messaging, your impact, and all of that. So both on our corporate side of the corporate types of media that we would create a lot of public health campaigns, a lot of independent projects, training videos, it always still had that at its core, because we always understood the power, honestly, that's in media. You know, if you can control the narrative, you control behaviors, you control that, you control actions. So as a media company, we would often be tapped on the shoulder to create public health media marketing campaigns around various issues and scope that impact humanity in general, but then when we look at how it impacts Black and Brown people, we know that we often over-index in everything. So over-index in crime and violence and our health and all these kinds of things. So it's important when we're creating commercials or raising awareness in a campaign, they're creating radio ads, TV ads, billboards, transit, you know, a company like mine, led by a Black woman, would step in to make sure that those messages were written in a responsible and culturally relevant way. Because oftentimes, while yes, there may be a campaign that's saying whatever. I mean, I've made so many commercials in my journey from, you know, wear a condom, don't do drugs, you know, naloxone, whatever, you know. But oftentimes when you're making messages, sometimes we, our community, don't feel connected to that messaging or feel like we're talking to them or they're talking to us. And then I come along and I write in a way and say, no, really, we talking to you. Wear a condom, don't do drugs, you know, save your loved one's life with naloxone. Like, yes, we could have another conversation around, you know, prevention or how the drug got there in the first place. But right now, if someone's at the point of an overdose, I need you to administer the drug to save their life. It's the equivalent of an EpiPen or an asthma pump. Like, this isn't for how did we get here, just save life right now. Right. So with that being said, on our youth side, we teach media to young people because, again, the times and the technology has changed. So again, I've been in media a long time, so we don't have to necessarily make it to the big three channels or even cable at this point. The way we're communicating with each other right now, you know, through podcasting and all of these other platforms, there's a shift there. There's actually almost an opportunity for a little bit of equity and equality, because now you don't have to just turn to media for your messaging, because you literally are media. You are the messaging. So we want young people to understand that very early on. So our training and our education program is to teach them how to be the content creator versus the content consumer. So then when they are writing the story and they're writing the narrative, they're not only changing what we're feeding in our eye hole and our ear hole, but they're also changing the way they themselves, as young Black and brown children, are seen in the media and by the media, because they are, in fact, the media. So it is an extremely powerful thing. And as someone who has now become a history maker, as the first African-American woman in the state of Maryland to buy an entire block on Baltimore's harbor, which houses my media studio, I recognize that presents a bit of power, bit of maybe even concern. Like, some folks may find me a little dangerous. Like, how did she do that? She's independent media. We can't control what she gonna say, not gonna say, I got a building the size of a block, so anything I post out on the digital for any of that, is reaching a vast population because of the traffic on the street. There's a real opportunity there. And so when I acquired this property, and in this first year of ownership, and I see so many other independent Black media connect with me, like you and I have connected, Doni, and the Mark Clarks and the April Watts and so forth and so on. It sends a resounding message that while, yes, many of us have had very successful and promising careers in the media space, it again hit different when we're able to create our own stuff in our own space, in our own rooms, and something that we actually own. We own the property, we own the content, we own the IP, all of it. So this is creating a different kind of freedom. And so I'm just so excited to be the vessel that God is using to bring all of this incredible Black independent media talent to my house, so that we can pull together and work together and create the meaningful media that makes a difference.
Well said. Carl Brown.
Now I'm gonna dump this name on you because I want y'all to know if you know it, so I can tell you if you don't.
Okay.
Ed Bloom. Do y'all know who that is? Now, don't you say anything, Doni, because I know you know who he is. Ed Bloom.
No.
How about the Fearless Fund?
No Fearless Fund. I'm
Yeah,
actually
okay, no Fearless Fund.
Fund.
Well, Ed Bloom is the guy that sued the Fearless Fund because they wanted to give money to Black-owned businesses, Black women-owned businesses. Ed Bloom is the same guy that sued Harvard over using diversity as a mechanism for new students to get in. And his only goal was, and he used a Asian student as his puppet. And I have a lot of Asian friends because I grew up in New York City, and I went to Brooklyn Tech, and it was about 25% Asian, 25% Black, 25% Hispanic, and 25% white when I went there. Now it's 74% Asian, 8% Hispanic, 6% Black, and 12% white. And so that's why I know this very well. And I told my Asian friends when Ed Bloom got that young man to sue Harvard, an Asian guy, I said, the only people that's going to suffer are yours. And they all agreed because they knew what was going on. Okay? So this is where we are with media. CNN, MSNBC, all of them, they all suck. If y'all remember, what was that guy's name? Channel 7 in DC. I forgot the name of the company that owns them. It's a guy. Well, anyway, every one of his, across the country, at 7 p.m. or 6 p.m., I forgot which time it was, every one of the newscasters said the same damn thing. And you can Google this. All right. I forgot the Sinclair Communications, something like that.
Fox
right?
TV.
What's it? Yeah. Okay.
And Baltimore Sinclair owns Fox.
Okay. He owns 7 here in DC. So you can Google this. At 6 p.m., they all across the country, whether it was Baltimore, DC, Nevada, Wyoming, wherever, they all said the same thing. All right. So that's what they're all about. So I don't even listen to that crap anymore because they are all singing one hymn. And as I was saying to a lot of friends during the last election, I said there's one bird with two wings, Republican and Democrat, you know. And I said, like, when the outcome was Trump winning, I said, I talked to a bunch of Deltas, and I said, well, why don't y'all? I said, you want to make a statement, all become independent, because the Democratic Party ain't doing nothing for you. If we all black people just said, hey, you know what? I'm gonna be independent from now on. That's the end. Now they got to come to us, both parties. But if we don't do anything and we just stand in line and go vote Democratic over and over again, guess what? We're going to get the same thing we got now. But then let me go on and talk about what we do. So I was trying to get syndicated, and I went to a company and they said, well, you're black. Oh, no kidding. You know, no kidding. I'm light skinned, but I'm black. Yeah. They were like, well, our viewers really, they're not going to tune into a business show by a black guy. Then I went to a black company that does syndication, and they said, yo, but you have white people on your show. I said, yeah, I try to get the best of the best because I'm bringing the best to my people. And they were like, well, it's going to be a hard sell because you got a lot of white guests. They're not the majority of my guests, but they are my guests. So I got turned down by both sides.
Wow.
But we're celebrating this year 9 years on the air on Sirius XM channel 141. All right? We're celebrating that. And so I tell people all the time, if you want to hear the real deal, come and check us out. And we're trying to build this channel up because it is owned by Howard University. We're trying to build it up so that people can go there and know that they're getting good and accurate information to move forward. And that's what we do. That's why I bring the best of the best, people who are doing great things all over the country, really all over the world, because I've interviewed folks from Africa, Asia, and Europe, in addition to every state in the United States. So I'm not going to stop. I'm going to continue.
So we're going to go around the horn, and thank you for taking time out to join us. So I want to get your closing statements, but let's start with Tasha Vanzi, the mother of at least, 3 entrepreneurs, and then she got a whole army of them. I do want you all to know that on 2/22, we have the Black Wall Street Expo is limited. There's a limited number of vendor spots. Jackie has already agreed to send her army down there to the Downtown Cultural Arts Center on that day. But if you could take a moment and Tasha, are you with us?
I am. I'm here.
Can you give us, and we need some more of your youth entrepreneurs. We want to feature them at the expo. We want them to, if you need a booth or whatever is necessary, we definitely want to continue this momentum with our youth entrepreneurs. But share and thank you both, Kelly and Tasha, for what you wrote online. I love writers. I don't give you if you're a member of the Ku Klux Klan. If you're a writer, I'm likely to publish your stuff, and I want both of your permission to share your pieces on BeMoreNews.com. But Tasha, if you could just share a takeaway and any final thoughts. And again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Absolutely. I just want to share with you again just my heartfelt gratitude for creating space to have the visibility of our young people who know that entrepreneurship is the way. And so in our Agility Network, which is sponsored by my husband and my cybersecurity company, I'm not sure if you all are aware, but we have one of the fastest growing Black-owned cybersecurity companies in the country. And we are committed to incubating not just our own children, but scores of children, children's entrepreneurial ventures. And we are showing them exactly what we do for our own clients, how to not just start up a business, but how to systemize it, operationalize it, sustain it, and scale it through exit strategy. And so we're here to share our deep experience in erecting organizations that are sustainable and secure. And we're making sure that we are developing that next generation. What we're also committed to starting this year is telling those stories. So, Dr. Vanier, I'm so excited to hear the work that you and Kelly are doing, and also Akio.
Yeah, you said it
I'm
right.
sorry if I said your name wrong. But we are just so excited and thrilled to see you all. I also want to invite you to come into our ecosystem of very successful Black-owned business owners, especially in this tech field. There are so many of us. We are in the region of this new Black Renaissance where there are so many of us, but we're kind of hidden because we don't all come together and people are afraid to share their stories. We know that now is the time for us to collect. And that's why my husband and I launched the Agility Network under the advice of my son that you all saw yesterday. He's very low key, but we understand what our role is, and we are here to share, to be a resource, and to learn tremendously from all of you and amplify and expand our network across the globe. So thank you so much to all of you. And I can't wait to get to know each and every one of you a little bit better. And Dr. Vanier, we're ready to own a block.
You
So
got some
I'm
insight.
going to need some insights from you.
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes,
you want
thank
to take a stab at it and some of your takeaways?
Yes, just to piggyback off of Tasha, this is just an incredible platform and incredible network. I'm excited to continue to grow in community and get connected with
You
just
talked about the pivot in your comments, and it made me think of the pandemic and how we all had to pivot.
yes, that is, and that's what I said this year, like wanting to continue to highlight my story, but also just speaking on needing to pivot within, your business, your initiatives. Sometimes like things happen, so you have to, in order to keep going within your purpose, like sometimes you do need to pivot, and that's okay. And I just want to highlight that because I'm a real advocate for small businesses alongside my wellness journey, and just community engagement, and just really stepping into utilizing my voice and my platform, and just remaining in community. Like that's just my biggest goal, moving forward, is just remaining connected, pulling people that I know aren't in the spaces that I am and pulling them into these spaces, because I am a natural connector. And I'm just excited to continue to grow. I'm excited to just see where everything leads within wellness, within small business, within just gaining resources in the community, and just really being able to be a connector to people. So I'm just really excited for this year and for the years to come. And I'm very excited for what's taking place in Baltimore City, because we are in a pivotal time with Baltimore. The pandemic kind of jolted us into this space, and it birthed so many entrepreneurs, so many leaders, and so many voices. So I'm just grateful that I am in the right place at the right time. It lets me know that this is within my purpose. And I'm just excited to continue to collaborate and connect with you all. So that's my takeaway. And again, Doni, thank you so much for having this platform and for the event as well.
Akio Evans, you had a reason or two to quit, but you never quit. You had obstacles get in the way. You had a reason to say, to hell with this, I'm going back to Johns Hopkins and worked that 9 to 5, but you persevered. And next thing I know, I see you on TV with another celebrity, Spike Lee, Tommy Davidson. Was it Master P? I mean, who haven't you given?
No, well, talking about like dedication, I like what Carl Brown said. He said when he had he was dedicated to this group, and that one individual that you said that it was like he wanted to become what is it, the scout, if I'm not mistaken. But it was like when I did about 30 workshops last year with corporate and with nonprofit. Some I didn't get a chance to share because, as you guys know, if Kelly never told me, hey Keo, let's take a picture, I said, oh yeah, that's right, I gotta get a picture. And Donnie was putting his coat on. It was like what we all talked about was that we were being engaged with what was going on. So a lot of people, when when Mayor Scott had gave Usher the Air Force Ones the skates that I had the CFG Arena commissioned me to do. It was for about $5K for the skates. They was like, yo, why was you there? Why was you there giving it to him? I said, well, I had a workshop the same day, and it was for 30 people, and I wanted to. I didn't want to just necessarily leave. We committed. We committed to that. Like Carl said, we committed to these individuals. We're going to see it all the way through. So I think that the community needs that. We need to have commitment, and we also need to, like you just said, Donnie, not ever give up, because granted, like, entrepreneurship is woof. If I would have, it's been many a times I was about to go back where Pharaoh was at, where I was like, you know what, I complained about the bread and water, but it's like, no, it's in this season where it develops character and knowing that God is a calling on your life. It's calling on everybody's life. So we're not in a position to be comfortable. So I'm just grateful, Donnie, that I've known you since 2010. I always brag, and he always tell me not to share the story, but I will give you a green screen movie preview. He was the one that gave me my first suit, my very first suit. In 2010, I wasn't even able to articulate. It was times when man was canvassing in West Baltimore, and we had to knock on every door. And it was times where he couldn't even understand what I was saying. And now, fast forward to 2025, him and I, we stayed in contact. And in 2015, got the Black Man. That's when Kelly was president with her. That's what she was talking about. And fast forward to 10 years now, it's like, it's nothing but growth. So like I said, we're lifeliners. I'm just grateful to be amongst Jackie. Jackie's been a supporter of mine. Jackie was the very first one before I did any celebrity. Her and her daughter Erin was like, no, you gotta record this. This gotta be a production. So Erin was able to add value to, from that point on, always doing an unboxing. So when you see Dave Chappelle unboxing, and you see recently, I haven't posted Tom and Davis one yet, but I got that from her daughter. Her daughter's like, yo, every time it's a moment, this is art. You got to definitely, we did it at Jackie's office. So thank you, Jackie, for being one of the beginning supporters that seen value in me before I seen it. So it takes community. And that way we are able to, because like Kelly said, something is definitely happening in Baltimore, and it's so special, y'all. It's so special, but I'm excited that we are in the front end of this. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Now, Patty, you gonna clean this all up. You gonna get the closing statement. Jackie, who's that sticking her head in there?
I was just showing love and appreciation because it's just the beginning, and yeah.
That's Erin. She heard Akio talking about her, so that's my youngest daughter. She just moved back to Baltimore from California.
I met her on my way out the door. Hey.
She always, she's my biggest supporter and inspiration. She always encourages and supports me and will be by my side as often as possible. Will come from California to do things to assist with the Black Wall Street Expo. Will be in California, not able to make it, but still putting out information, making flyers, and doing things to help get the word out about the work we do with Notre Maison Connects, and for supporting our youth in our program in Black business and entrepreneurs. She's also an entrepreneur.
And I'm really excited to learn about this network and see where I can fit in any way possible.
Okay. What was your takeaway, Jackie?
It was amazing. It was a phenomenal experience. It just so happened that my daughter came in, but my son-in-law also came in, and he's my son-in-law is a fashion designer and really not familiar with Baltimore at all, and just kind of thinking about how he could fit in, but he left there so inspired and encouraged, and I was happy that he was able to be there and take away so much information and understand that Baltimore is not like California, and Baltimore is not like New Orleans, where he's from, but we have our own vibe and our own flavor and our own support systems, and that we are here to help him and encourage him and just to, to be great as join the crowd of great entrepreneurs and adventurers, because being an entrepreneur is an adventure every day. It's a 24/7. It's not just 7 days a week or whenever you feel like it or what have you. I wake up thinking about the business. If I wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom or dog bark or anything, it's business going on in my head. I have to force myself back to sleep because some kind of idea done creeped in just that quick. And it's so exciting at times. And it's exciting to also give entrepreneurs an opportunity to expand and to blossom and to grow with the businesses on 25th Street and during the expo. Because even during the expo, the Black Wall Street Expo on 25th Street, sometimes we have people that participate who are just starting a business. And to see the other business owners support and encourage them like they did yesterday at the summit, it's just heartwarming. Mm-hmm. And you had such phenomenal speakers there, Doni, that were so full of information, just a wealth of information that they were just pouring out to encourage everybody to be great. It was wonderful.
Group. Give me a takeaway.
You kicked off 2025. Like you struck the match. You lit the candle. We did. Yes, I received it, Doni. So they on notice now. We kicked it off on fire, put everyone on notice. We showed up collectively in community, and you set the tone and the bar for how we're to do this and carry ourselves through the rest of this year. Thank you.
Thank you. Carl Brown, you came the farthest distance. You came all the way from Bowie, and you were there early in the morning. So I know that was a lift. Then you had to go back to check in with your Eagle Scout son. What's your takeaway?
My takeaway was just this. We got to be mindful that this is not a one-off, but this is a continuation. I grew up, I'm probably the oldest one on the call. I grew up and saw the CEDAR program. Y'all remember that, or you heard about it?
That was CEDAR jobs for students, high school
exactly. Students. Black college, high school and college students in New York City. And you know who was in charge of that program? Well, yeah, they were all over America, but I'm going to tell you who was in charge in New York. Sergeant Shriver, all right? And he married one of the Kennedys. And I went to their house years later, like in the 90s to early 2000s. And this guy made millions off of the program. But as soon as we, as a people, started benefiting from the program, guess what happened? It was defunded. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So we cannot allow that to happen. We got to keep it going. We got to stay involved. And that's my commitment. I'm not going to, as long as I'm here, I'm going to give you 10 toes down all the way every day, period.
Good deal. Patty, we have $1.6 trillion in annual disposable income as a people. That is the equivalent of the 13th, 14th, or 15th largest economy on the planet Earth. We keep everybody else in business. What sayeth you? What's your takeaway? And I know you're trying to do even more for the Sankofa Children's Museum of African Cultures. I was sharing with Mama Kiki that the Baltimore Museum of Art, the Walters Art Gallery, they have large endowments. But when you look at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum, you look at Sankofa Children's Museum, you look at Great Blacks in Wax. Although we're a 66% Black city, a 30% Black state, our museums also have to be about the business of museums. What's your takeaway?
The takeaway, it's difficult. Baltimore being a small sector, very political, We have to fight for every dime. They know about us. In the past 2 years, we've brought more people through those doors, and they actually know that we have more artifacts than the BMA and the Walters, and we have more programs that are connecting the community. I'm a retired person. I walked in that museum 3 years ago, met Mama Kiki, and never left because I knew my job was going to be to market and get the word out that we are there. When I did news, I was the only Black woman in Baltimore City that had her own talk show and that was walking around Baltimore City with Perrin Mitchell. I was doing media from 1978 all the way through the beginning of the end of the 80s. And if it wasn't for Kathy Hughes, women in media were non-existent. They always had a man.
Oh, there was Dorothy Brunson. There was Dorothy Brunson.
Dorothy Brunson still came after me. I was on the air. She was on the business side. They never wanted, you know what I was told when I was doing news on the air? That I was too Black. I was giving out too much Black news. And that was at WWIN, the voice of the community. So understand that when I say I'm going to do something, I fight. I'm going to fight. And I will fight to bring the children in. I will fight to bring the public in. And I will fight to bring money to that museum because we need to continue to be recognized, just recognize more. So it was so important when you came in, Doni, with your summit and you brought a lot of people in that could see us. They ride by Cold Spring all the time and don't know that we're there. Seriously, that's the truth. When people first walk in, Mark Clark said it. He said, I didn't know this place was sitting here. You know, they don't. So, you know, we do have WJZ, WBAL has supported us a lot in the past 2 weeks. And I'm going to pat myself on the back because I continue to bring them in. But I want us to come in and support us as well. So when I see all of your organizations moving, we are there for you. You know, we can partner with you. Whatever you need, I'm there. And I'm going to come out and support the things that you all do in the city too. That's right.
Anybody got a burning desire before we
Thank
go?
you,
Yes, somebody over here wants to say something else too.
Hello, I appreciate you guys even letting me hop in. I don't know if it was forced, but I just want to say.
What's your name?
My name is Erin.
Hi, Erin.
Hi, everyone. So I heard a lot of what you guys were saying, and I just want to say, number one, I think everything is very intentional, like at the program. And I feel like people feel that as soon as they walk in. And I feel like it's obvious that, like someone said, this is a good kickoff to 2025. And also this has to be a reoccurring thing. And I just think those two things are really important because I feel like with the right coverage and just being able to like share it, it can quickly grow even more because just me being from, you know, I lived in LA the last 11 years. For me, that was something that I would dream of being able to attend at least once a month. And I just feel like even with building those like organic connections and just kind of like the tone that was set by Doni at the whole event, it's just like people are in the mindset to collaborate. People are in the mindset that is a safe space, that is a empowering space, and you know, an encouraging space for all ages, which I thought was very important too. But I just feel like it can quickly grow, and with that community, we could do a lot of things. Like someone was talking about, like ownership. Like, of course, that's very important, but we could just start to even like, you know, implement different kind of workshops within that community in itself and kind of move together as a conglomerate because it's very powerful. So I just also wanted to tap on the point of media coverage because I feel like if we had like really good coverage of the event, like professional coverage, which I feel could easily be collaborated with some cross promotion since there's already a good amount of people that attend, that it could grow and it could, you know, get its recognition and become a bigger movement even quicker.
Thank you, y'all say that's why we have Black media like Carl's show, like Barnier's network, like BeMoreNews.com, because we tired of kissing other people's fannies and asking them, we're going to do what we can for ourselves with what we already have. We operate from a standpoint of abundance, not one of lack. We don't need them. God gave us everything we need in order to be successful.
I'll say.
Yes.
Patty, you are the elder. We started with prayer. When I first learned about Black Wall Street, the Right Reverend Michael Carter out in Oakland, California said, if it don't have God in it, it ain't Black Wall Street. So can you take us on home in prayer?
I'm going to take you home with prayer, but I'm going to begin with a quote. The great and late Nikki Giovanni said, hearing is a blessing, but the responsibility lies with us in listening. Because when you listen, you're going to hear to educate. When you listen, you can build with other people. When you listen, it's about community, family, and partnership. All of us on Saturday did an excellent job in listening and being present and creating or just having a mindset of what we need to do in 2025, because this is the year, the next 4 years, we all need to be thinking about it. So with prayer, I'm going to say, Heavenly Father, as we continue in this journey, may we find the strength, perseverance, and vigor to create a stronger community. Give us the love in our hearts so that we can get past the hatred of others on this earth. Amen.
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 Power to the people. My name is Donnie Glover. Do check out bemorenews.com. RSVP, Jackie, I'm counting on you. All of you. Vanya, thank you for the help you sent out.
Respond to my text message.
Whatever. Black Wall Street Expo 2025.eventbrite.com. Kelly, do tell Nia good reports. I don't want that lady looking for me down the block. When I come to East Baltimore, she's like, oh, I don't want no stuff. But great day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Good night.